Good morning, y'all. I did say I was going to come back and talk about my healing journey that I decided to begin to start on publicly. I to share with you all, so that somebody I know I'm pretty sure there's many people out there that's going to benefit from this. So that is the reason why I decided to start sharing it. It's beautiful out here and sunny. Sitting in my backyard, just taking in the breeze and the sun. Beautiful, really beautiful sun. Um, I like to start by saying that I started the healing process so many years ago. The Crohn's at this time wasn't Crohn's yet. It was ulcerated proctitis, and when I started this is how I discovered that I had this thing. They say it's hereditary. I guess it is. I don't know. Somebody in my family have had it. That's what they're saying. It's in the DNA and it's hereditary. But I don't know any, if as of this moment, I don't know anybody else who have had suffered from Crohn's. I just recently found my biological paternal family in January of 2019, January 2019, January the 9th, 2019 to be exact, is when that I discovered that my father, had been searching for him for a while, but um, as of I finally found them, and then I discovered that I had other sisters and a brother, uh, that I do right now today. Have strong relationship ties with them, which is great. However, but they don't even talk about, they haven't mentioned to me that they suffer from that thing, and neither have they mentioned anyone else in the family on my paternal uh, father's side. On paternal family side, on my mother's side, nobody talked about that. That's not Crohn's is not heard of, so I don't know where. I guess somewhere way, way, way down the line, somebody in the family had it. But when it started with me, I was in I think I was in my 30s, yeah, my late 30s. I started having bloating. First, it was the bloating, and I was wondering, what in the world is that? I always drink milk. I love like whole milk and everything else, and ice cream, everything, cheese and all that other kind of stuff. But it never did any justice to me. It did me wrong, cheese and dairy and everything else, and give me gas and bloated and, and everything else. But I still loved it, and I ate it, and I, had times hard digesting it, but I really didn't know that I was lactose intolerant. And I didn't know that, that it would cause me such great suffering down the line. So eventually, after I just, then from that, I was in a very, very stressful job. And I think from what they tell me, it comes on by, stress, because I hold my emotions in, and that's something that I'm working on with me. I hold my emotions in a lot, and I don't really express how I feel, and I'm working on that. I'm getting better at it. Um, I hold everything in. Um, and that's another reason why, it's like my emotions and everything else, because I hold them in and I don't really express them. I didn't, back in the past. That kind of like, ate its way, just ate on me and ate on me and everything else. And then it caused other kind of digestive problems, emotional in my abdomen area. Um, um, and, I was told that I had ulcerative proctitis at first. They gave me medicine for this, which is Canassa. You have to, it's a suppository. I'm pretty sure all the Crohn's or ulcerative proctitis sufferers out there know what I'm talking about. It's a suppository. I used that, and this one had sulfasalazine in it, and I wasn't aware that that I had that I was allergic to it, and I found out that the hard way when they gave me this, because it was a new ailment to me, and so I went. I saw, finally, with the urgence of a co-worker of mine, she urged me to go because I had started bleeding, and there was mucus, and then there was blood that was, rectally coming. That was in my stools. My stools were black, and and I was already suffering from anemia, but it just made it worse, and it went on and on and on. And before it all, I do notice that the Most High God was trying to tell me to, because he was coming to me in my dreams, and I had a dream that there was a whole lot of blood, and it was something to do with the bloodline, and it was a lot of blood. And I found out, because I have dreams and I dream and everything, I dreamed about this thing, and it was really a lot of blood. It just kept flowing and flowing and flowing, and I just wondered what it had something to do with me. Then later on, then it made itself. It started showing, symptoms started showing up. I started bloating, a lot of, not that much pain at the time, but the bloating, everything that I ate, because I ate a lot of dairy, bloated me. And I didn't know why my stomach was, I started looking like I always have kept a small, tight waist, had a beautiful Coke bottle shape and everything. But all of a sudden, my stomach, I would look like I was like 6 months pregnant. I didn't understand that, and I wasn't pregnant. But then I started, the mucus started, and then I thought I might have had a cold down there or something. My mother always she always told me that you can have a cold down there, and you was secreting mucus or whatever. So that's what I thought it was. But then with that, later on came the blood. And I was, at that time, like I mentioned before, I was in a job where I work I was a counselor for, a behavioral health counselor, and the job itself is very stressful. You're working with children from the age of 2 on up to 17, and it was really taxing, and my God, it was very stressful. And I just did my job, and I came to really not hate that job. It was some changes that was taking place. It was in the church at first. At first it was my dream job. God had answered me and blessed me with that job, and I was able to work in a church on the 3rd floor in Oak Park, and I loved it. But then they moved it to, I think the west side of Chicago, and we all had to move there. And it became very, 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 really more stressful, dealing with the children, and seeing things that they were suffering, and I went through a lot of that too. Had a very traumatic childhood, so that's the reason why I ended up in social services to help and try to help, behavioral health, as a counselor, trying to help others that was suffering from, as I suffered, as a child, with homelessness, all of that stuff, being a sexual abuse survivor, a child sexual abuse survivor, and all of that stuff that I went through. So I was healing from a lot of trauma that in this job, it allowed me to also heal. I had very supportive people around me, but little did I know that still it was, I held in, and I had my own family to take care of, very demanding husband. And at the time that it was, our marriage was very abusive and angry. I say that, I don't, like I said, I'm very private about my life, but I'm coming out now and telling my story because I know there's some, it's time anyway. And it's others out there suffering that's gonna benefit from this, so I have to tell it. I've been urged to tell this for a while, so I'm starting with it now. And then, it's just, unfortunately, I had to go through that, period of what I just went through with my Crohn's, Crohn's a flare up again to finally just get it on out. Come on, just get it started. And, the Spirit been urging me to do this for a long time, and so now here I am. I'm gonna go ahead and go through it with this time. This time, I've had some false starts in the past, and it's starts and stops and everything else. But God give me the strength and the energy, and I will, do what I got to do this time with completion. Achieve it, to get it to the point where I need it to be, where I want it to be, where I desire to be. As far as and I'm satisfied with me sharing my story, with others, in the hopes that it's gonna help people, and I know that it is. Um, going back to where I was with the bleeding started, and they gave me this. There was a black doctor, a woman doctor. I was so happy to have her and to meet her, and I felt like she knew what she was gonna. She knew how to help me, and better than anybody else. This was at Evanston Hospital. Through them, I found her, and then I started going to her for my treatment plan, which involves the canasta. But this canasta had sulfasalazine in it, and I didn't know at the time. I wasn't aware that I was allergic to it, and so they gave me that, and I had an allergic reaction. And oh my goodness, this was back in 1999, I believe it was. That my journey with my healing, finally when I accepted it, I went and I started, with the urgence of my friend, my coworker Margaret Jolie. At the time her name was, she's married now, but it was Margaret Jolie. She helped me, and if you're out there, you hear me wherever you are, Margaret, I love you, girl. Thank you so much for helping me, because you were my inspiration at the time, and you helped me in so many ways. Practically saved my life. I give you that credit too. But shout out to you, honey, wherever you are. I know we lost contact, but by any chance you find this video, you can and on social media, get in contact with me. I've been looking for you for a while, but I just hope that you're happy, and everything is still going strong with you, and you're just happy in your life. You deserve that. But back to me, in my story. The bleeding started, and then I had the allergic reaction to this canasta. They gave me, I don't think they gave me the pills at the time, it's just the suppositories. You know what, they did give me the pills, and they also had sulfur in it, and then a mixture of that. I was taking the pills and using the suppositories. They were working, but I had an allergic reaction with my skin. Just my ears turned like black around here. It was like black and looked like they had been just burnt here and burnt here on both of my ears. And it's just like, I feel like it was like a burning sensation coming from within me, and my skin turned like beet red. I developed a really rash all over my entire body, and I would scratch it so bad that it would bleed. It was that bad. I swole up. Nobody could touch me, because if they touched me, I would swell up like and then like how goosebumps become on you. These bumps would come on me, this rash, and they would never go away, and they were so red, and I would scratch them until they bleed. And this was all over my body. I couldn't wear any clothes, anything. I was allergic to everything. I couldn't lay down in my bed because I was allergic to all of that. I tried to wash everything, and it still didn't work. I ended up sitting in a wooden chair for 2 weeks, because I butt naked, and when I say butt naked, I mean butt naked. I could not lay down. I didn't know what was happening to me, and it took me so long to realize that I was having an allergic reaction. My hair fell out, all of my hair. My hair was long and thick and beautiful, and down my shoulders and everything. It fell out. All of my hair fell out. It actually fell out, and it's on my pillow in globs of hair. Just bush. I can hold it in my hand like that. It fell out in my uh, and one day, I'm like, what is happening to me, God? What is happening to me? Am I dying? And something told me to stop taking that medicine. So I stopped the medicine. People were coming to visit me and everything, and they couldn't come in my room because I was butt naked, like I said, sitting in a chair, backwards. And, the chair was backwards, and that's how I could sit. I could not sleep, and I slept, for 2 weeks before I'm like, you know what? It was the pushing point was like I couldn't wait. Anything that I touched I couldn't touch my kids. And my husband, nobody could touch me because it was just, I'll have allergic reaction, and just, it would burn, it would feel like a burning sensation and everything. And so one day, uh, my husband, he got off work and he came home, and he brushed past me by mistake and touched me. And I just blew up. I mean, I swole up so bad that and I was so red. It was normally I was already red, and I was itching so bad, and my skin, because of the rash, I was covered in the rash. But this one was unusual. I blew up so bad, my face, my arms, my whole body. So my husband had to rush me to, at the time we lived on the south side of Chicago, and he had to rush me all the way to Evanston Hospital, because that was my hospital, and they had all my records and everything. So he rushed me there, and they hurry up and saw me in the emergency room, because they saw my condition, and my throat was beginning to swell. So they gave me my breathing was being inhibited. So they gave me a Benadryl shot, and something else they gave me to reverse the allergic reaction. Benadryl and I forgot what it was, but it was 2 things they gave me. 2 things. Excuse me. And I was keep coming in and out of my clothes, because since I was at the emergency room, I couldn't just be butt naked there, but I had to put on something, and I just was like uncomfortable in the seat in the car, and I was uncomfortable with that. And this phone is gonna go out, so I'm gonna have a part 2 to this. But I was, this one is like the beginning, of my journey. So, but I'm gonna have to do a part 2. But this is a part 1. It was like, oh my God. That hour seemed like an hour drive all the way to the hospital. They gave me what they thought I needed in a certain amount of dose, but it wasn't enough. So when we drove back home, I was still like struggling with these clothes and touching stuff. I couldn't be still because I wanted to come out these clothes and everything. And sun is beautiful. When I got home, I tried to lay down, and I was just giving it testing it and see if it's what they gave me the shots with gonna help, and it didn't. So my husband had to rush me back to the hospital. They told me if that's not enough, they'll just have to give me more. They only gave me a certain amount because they knew that by me having an allergic reaction, they didn't want to really give me an overdose or anything. But when I came back, they saw that I was still suffering, and the allergic reaction wasn't completely reversed yet. So they gave me another shot of Benadryl and some more of that, whatever that was they gave me. And I, they told me that you are allergic to sulfasalazine, and that's what it was in that. So therefore, from that day forward, I cannot have anything with sulfasalazine in it because I'm allergic to it. But it did they had to re-prescribe me a medicine like Canasta, but without the sulfasalazine, and the Lialda, the pills without the sulfasalazine in it, and it worked. The bleeding did stop, but they told me, now my eating habit had to change, and everything. I needed to stop drinking coffee, which I drank a lot, and tea, caffeinated tea, and I did switch to decaf tea and decaf coffee for a number of years afterwards. But the symptoms still was there, and I think a few years later, in 2003, I went back because, it started bleeding again, and I went to see, this is, what was happening with me, and my daughter, Cherry, which we call Antoinette Jr., but we call her Cherry. She went with me to the doctor and to the hospital, and I think that was my first time ever having a colonoscopy. And they did a biopsy too, and they came back in the room, later on, and told me I had the big C. And oh my God, me and my daughter, we just automatically start tearing up because we thought he was talking about this was Michael Goldberg. He's my doctor to this day. He's at a Hyde Park hospital in Illinois, but he told me that you got the big C, but he said, and so we kind of cringed. We was like in tears and crying and because we thought he meant cancer, but he said no, it's not cancer. Whew, wow, what a relief! We was like, "Ooh, Lord, thank you, Lord," and he said it's Crohn's, and I never heard of that before. I'm like, Crohn's? He said your ulcerative proctitis turned into Crohn's. It's full-fledged Crohn's now, and told me a certain part of my colon, my lower colon, I think where my rectum is inflamed, and is ulcerated. It's still ulcerated, but it's colon, and if I don't stick with the treatment plan that he prescribed for me, it can turn into cancer. It can be cancer, become cancerous. So yeah, but I'm gonna end this because my phone is about to go belly up. So I don't want that. I'm gonna put it on a charger, and then I'll probably start part 2 pretty soon. But this is a beautiful sunny day. Today is August the 19th, 2022. And I'm in my backyard in beautiful northern suburbs, Round Lake, and just chilling, chillaxing. I just got out of the hospital like early this morning, and I'm doing better because I had a flare. I had a Crohn's flare, so I had to be hospitalized, and bleeding had started again currently. So I'm back on that, treatment plan, because I did stop the medicine for a little while because I thought I didn't need it. But because I changed my diet, I started eating more vegetables, and for a while I went vegan, vegetarian, not vegan, but vegetarian. But that didn't last. Excuse my noisy neighbors. That didn't last. And I started eating meats again, and mostly chicken and seafood, but salmon, there's a lot of change going on in my life. Good things, very good changes. This is what I asked God for. But, it's coming to me so fast, but I requested it. So God, and using the law of attraction and the law of vibration, and, asking the universe and asking the Most High God to bless me with, with things that I want, that I dream of. He's answering my prayers, but me, I have to, I have not been so used to things coming to me so easily and effortlessly and so fast. I'm catching up with it now. I'm adjusting to it, to the change that's happening. It's a good change. It's positive change. And, you have more, grandchildren are being born into the family, and it's just awesome. We're doing some changes to our house and remodeling it and everything else. We got our pool finally open. And everything. I'm enjoying that. I'm so happy. God is good. He's really, really good. He has a beautiful heart. God has a beautiful heart, and He's blessing me and my family so much, But I need to manage my Crohn's better, and I'm still praying for total, complete healing from it, where I don't have to take any kind of medicine, where it goes into remission and stays there. So, but I'm healed. I'm claiming my healing today, and I'm going to continue to declare it and claim it, and until the evidence, empirical evidence show itself in me, and physically and everything else, and I'll have I can show that on my paperwork or whatever. I'll share that with the world. Trust me, I will. But for now. So beautiful out here. I want to show my pool. Walking up to my pool, it's beautiful. I'm on my deck right here. This has its own deck. I have like 2 decks they put into one a deck here. Well, actually 3 decks. But, you have to go up to the stairs to get to the deck for the pool. And I'm going to show you guys the pool. Yeah, this is my pool. We just opened it up. It's, can you see it? Let's see. I hope you can see that. But it's 24 feet around, pool above ground, about 48 inches deep. Yeah, so sounds like my husband just probably got home. But I'm gonna my beautiful backyard and all my beautiful trees. This is the tree right here that touched me. It's a big walnut tree. I have a pear tree over there, and grapevine over this way, over there. Grapevine and a peach tree and an apple tree over there. So yeah, yep. Yep. My beautiful, beautiful swimming pool. All right, y'all. You all be safe and be blessed out there, and learn from this. Heal from this. For what I have to offer, I'm offering it, and I pray that it does heal. You heal from it and you benefit from it. Okay. I love you guys so much. I really do. This is my healing journey, and I'm loving that I'm sharing it with you guys now. So it's something that was a long time coming, but now it's here, and I'm thankful and grateful. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. All right.